The Overstood Human Podcast. Unfiltered dialogue, real solutions, no labels. The Overstood Human Podcast exists to inspire people to live with strength, freedom, and a purpose in a world full of noise and division. We champion a life anchored in true health, strong family, personal sovereignty, and self-discovery, inspiring our listeners to thrive beyond the confines of the design system. Our mission is to inspire you to break free from mediocrity, think independently, and live a life of meaning, resilience, and impact. Hello, everybody. I'm Frank Tortorici.
And my name is Sarah Green, and this is the Overstood Human Podcast.
Well, we want to welcome everybody. This episode is unfortunately, a dark one. It's a deep rabbit hole that we will go down, but we're going to present things to where we encourage a lot of you to do your homework and do your own research. The information is out there. There's only so much we can say without, avoiding censorship and things like that. So, this is for you guys to put on your critical thinking caps and to take the initiative from the things that we discuss here today and do your own research and connect the dots. And hopefully we can help you do that as well. So before we do that, I just want to take a moment to just say a quick prayer to cover us, because this is a dark thing. We're talking children here. And I just think it's important to set the tone just really quick. So if we can just close our eyes. Heavenly Father, I ask that you cover us in the blood of Christ right now and allow us to speak the truth, speak through us the truth, speak everything that needs to be said, but also protect us and cover us, as this is dark. And we know that darkness cannot exist with your light shining upon it. So I ask that you protect myself, you protect Sarah, and you protect everybody that is listening to this right now, willing to make a change, willing to step forward and make a difference and to impact the world and protect the children by any means necessary. And that you just cover us in the blood and nothing of dark can attach itself to us. And we can still walk the path of righteousness. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
So, Sarah, as we know, the Epstein files were released a couple of weeks ago, and it's been something that everyone is buzzing about. And I truly believe that it's a great thing that everyone's buzzing about this, because this cannot be, should not be, and will not be forgotten in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, there's been a lot of information released, but still not enough, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot more that is being withheld personally. As we know, and we've talked about on the show so many times, they'll tell you what they want you to know. And where there's smoke, there's fire. There's so many arrows pointing in so many directions of sadistic, satanic, dark, evil acts from people of, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just like it seems like everybody in a position of power and notoriety and at the top of their craft, whether it's in sports, film, politics, tech. It's like the 1% of those that are on the A list are all involved in some way, shape, or form, and it's just very disturbing and sickening. And what really bothers me is we're learning now, as this unfolds more and more, how they're, usually with cases like of such, it's usually the victims' names that are protected for their safety, not the people doing the crime. And that's what's crazy, how names are being redacted of the actual people who are involved with committing these crimes. That's what really drives me insane. And although one just came out recently, I think a few days ago, this Les Wexner, who was the I have him here. American businessman, former CEO of Victoria's Secrets. And it's come out now that there's a lot of email exchanges with him and Epstein. He is, in fact, a person who gifted him a $60 million townhome in New York City. And there, over the years, there were people coming out decades ago about this man being tied to trafficking with young women, tied to Victoria's Secrets, things of such. But he's just one of so many. And like I said, I mean, it's interesting that his name has now come out, but it was redacted for quite some time. So that's I guess we can start there. Uh, I mean, I think I know, I think we all know the answer to this, but let's have Sarah break it down a little bit in more detail. What's with the protecting of the accuser?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's everything is upside down right now. The whole world is backwards, and we've been warned about this in the Bible. What they say is wrong is right, and what's right is wrong. What's they say is good is evil, and what's evil is good. And so they're protecting themselves, and um, we're talking about innocent babies. We're talking about children. We're talking about lives that were ruined, destroyed, torture. I mean, spirit cooking, bloodletting, eating. It's absolutely disgusting, and we all want accountability. There's people on this list that you know I've known about this for many many years, and have dug into this for quite some time, and knew that there was a lot of people, and we're always told, like, the names will shock you. You will People will be in such disbelief to the point that they actually don't believe, which is what they count on, right? I mean, it's so heinous what they do that a normal person like you and me cannot even, our minds can't even comprehend it, to the point that we just don't even believe it. It's like there's no way. And that's what they count on, but they're all doing it. And when I say all, like, I truly think that anybody who has any level of power and authority has had to sell their soul. So we're talking supreme justices, we're talking about people in high end courts, we're talking about low people, not low, I don't want to say low, but police officers all the way up to Supreme Court justices. We're talking about politicians all the way up to presidents. We're talking about royal families. We're talking about um, millionaires and billionaires, and these guys are sick. They're sick. So where's the accountability? I saw someone post something, and Pam Bondi, you said, reference, if we showed all the names, everything would crumble. Let it crumble.
No.
Let it crumble. There is nothing good to stand on. If we don't completely wipe out what's going on right now, we will never be able to repair it and change it. So if you keep one bad apple, it's going to rot the rest of the crop. So you cannot, why are we hiding these things? Why are we allowing these things to continue? God sees it all. He warned us about this, and there's so much behind this. Pastors that I looked up to, pastors that I thought were good people. You can see it's like coming from every angle, people that just are blindly leading their sheep to slaughter. But these are babies. They're kidnapping children, and then they're raping them and breeding them. A lot of this stuff happens underground too, and a lot of these kids don't even see light. They don't see sun. They're baby making factories. There's no birth certificates. There's no social security numbers. Nobody knows that they exist, and they can do whatever they want to do to these children because they're not in the system. This is who they are. And I've come to look at every single person I listen to on the radio, every single song I hear, every single movie I watch, and I don't really watch movies, but everything I'm doing, anyone that I'm seeing that's on a television is compromised. Like, that's the way that we've got to look at it. That's kind of my approach to like anything that I see in medicine that's going on that is odd and shouldn't be happening. Is, to me, it's the vaccine until proven otherwise. That's the culprit here. It's like every single person that they put on the screen has done something to make it to the point where they're at. The models, all of them, if they're like those Victoria's Secret models, like, first of all, I have my own take on what Victoria's Secret actually is, but all of them are compromised, every single one of them. And you see what happens to actors and actresses when they've had enough. They either die of an overdose because they truly cannot get past what they've had to go through to get to where they're at, or they decide they're going to release a documentary and they're dead. So the exposure, once someone actually has like the aha moment, like, I cannot do this anymore, it's killing me, they're taken out. So these guys are, it's everybody. It really is. And so we've got to be really, what do we do, Frank? Like, that's, I think, ultimately what it comes down to is like, what do we do? And we have to be, we can't stop it so much as we can be aware and pray. The power of prayer is huge. But to be aware of it is important. It's super important.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. It's heavy. I look at it like this. I feel like this is like striking people at their core because, again, it's children, and any one of us that's a parent, it's, you can't let this go, and nor should we let it go. And that's what they're banking on. It's like if we look at the whole convict job, majority of people in society have let that go after what we went through. Like life resumed. It's like a distant memory to a lot of people that I talk to. There's plenty of times people, will tell me, like, put me on the side, like, why do you keep talking about that? Let it go. Like it's over. And it's like, no, like, what's the saying? If we forget our history, we're doomed to repeat it. Right. Like,
absolutely.
And that's what they bank on, and it just begs the question. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to somebody, and it's like, there's either one or two things here. Either people in these positions of power are just really that sick and twisted and demented by nature, or it's like when you get to a certain position of success in your industry, you're then approached and given a demand where you must partake in XYZ because we need to have some sort of blackmail. We need to know that we can keep you in check and in line if we're going to allow you to continue your path to do what you're doing, to impact millions. We need to know that if we need you to support this cause, support this country, support whatever, that you will fall in line. It's no different than, different types of religions, I'll say. There's one in particular that's really, really big in Hollywood. Starts with an S. I'll never forget when I first moved out to LA in 2004. I had a friend who became a series regular on a soap opera, and he was starting to create his way in Hollywood. I'll never forget, one day he called me and he was like, "Hey, I know." It was like in the middle, I remember it was like late morning, and he's like, "What are you doing right now?" I'm like, "Nothing, just getting some stuff together, whatever." He's like, "Come meet me at this place. I know you're so committed to like truth and your spiritual growth and da da da." And he's like, "You got to come meet me here." And I was like, "All right, what is it?" He's like, "Just come meet me here." And I'm new to the area. I didn't, so I said, "Give me the address." And at the time I was using a Thomas guide in 2004. So I show up there, and it's the whole center where all the who's who goes of that following. And I was like, oh my God. So needless to say, I went in there and it was such a dark experience. And within that, they have a thing that's called auditing. And it's very similar to like what I'm describing here of what I just explained of how, where does it go for like these elites? With the auditing process in that, it's like you sit with someone, everything is recorded, and your deepest, darkest, everything you've ever done is recorded. So it's like that's their form now of like having something on you if should you choose to, part ways or speak out against them. So, there's formats that you see similarities in a lot of these types of organizations, right? With ways they control people, you know. Um, so it's just fascinating to me how deep this goes. And as we said, it's in movies, it's in television, it's in music, it's literally everywhere. To your point, Sarah, like it's so much everywhere too that again, for a lot of people, the allegations are so off the charts for like the average person with that like has a heart and like a soul of like decency that you're like, wait, what? No, like that, come on, that can't be like
It's so
that.
heinous. Yeah.
It's so hard to like wrap your head around. It's so hard, you know. Um, and anyone listening to this right now, I'll say this: there's a blessing in being exposed to this information and listening to this conversation right now on a lot of levels. But if you're new to all this and you're still kind of taking this in, and maybe this Epstein thing is like the real thing that reeled you in now because Convent didn't, to like go down the rabbit hole. Know this. I always tell people it's best to go through the shock value at your pace and at your will on your time, because when you look at like Convid, so many people were a deer in headlights when that hit. So many people, and they couldn't believe what was being said, what they were being told. I remember like just at the start of it, telling people, look, there's going to be a shot coming. I'm telling you now, it's coming, and they're going to make you get it. You get like, when I look at like my timeline on Facebook from videos I was posting at the very beginning of it, I mean, if I must pat myself, there was like a lot of Nostradamus things going on there because, I had, I've been down the rabbit hole since 9/11. So like, you can see the writing on the wall, like, their playbooks, like it's pretty easy to decode once you've swallowed the pill of truth of reality. Like it's pretty easy to see where things go. So again, I think it's important because of the day and age that we're living in, because this agenda is on overdrive, because it's a global agenda. It's best, if you want to protect yourself, your loved ones, your inner circle, to get exposed to this information. Don't live in it, but expose yourself to as much as you can take, because there's layers to this and levels, and there will be more to come. And you don't want to be, when you have to make life or death decisions for yourself or for your family, to where you're a deer in headlights, to where you're in shock. Like get the shock value out of your system on your own watch. That way, when they present it to you in reality, you're not stuck in mud and you can actually maneuver and think clearly. I think it's very important to get that message. Don't live in this, but also don't push it away and don't fear it, because it's reality. We live in duality. It's light versus darkness, and especially if you are covered in His blood and you've given your life as a disciple, you have to know that it's there, and you must face it. You cannot look the other way, again, because if you look the other way, you're being an irresponsible adult, because again, these are children. These are children, innocent, harmless, defenseless. And I think the major solution that we can take from this, there's a couple, But one thing is like what I'm praying that this does for our society. Stop putting these celebrities on pedestals. Stop putting these politicians on pedestals. Stop thinking that these politicians have the heart of like Mr. Rogers. Like, stop looking at them in that context. You must take your enemy for what it is. And like Sun Tzu says in The Art of War, know your enemy better than you know yourself. So you can't continue to like just turn your cheek to this stuff and then think that, okay, because I know so many people like in the whole spiritual and, you know, I don't focus on that. Well, you're doing yourself a disservice because you have to see it for what it is.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. And as a parent, you need to be aware of what you expose your children to subliminally. For instance, the FBI released a bunch of different pedophilia signs many years back to bring awareness. Those pedophilia signs are displayed in everything. Every single Disney movie has it. Every single Pixar movie has it. It's all over the place. It's in orphanage, symbolism in orphanages, in foster homes, and like it's crazy. And I'm not saying that a lot of these places started out bad, but they've been infiltrated by evil people that want to do evil things. I've seen videos of politicians coming out and calling out the foster system and what they do in America in the foster system, and then those people end up dead. If you look at the different movies, Disney movies, you see the little boy pedophilia signs all over, tagged on in Lion King, tagged on the animals. You see swastika signs in the what's the 101 Dalmatians. You see adrenochrome signs in the Pixar movies, A113. You see, and we'll talk about that. So, like, be aware at what you're allowing your children to see. And so that is key, because they will eventually normalize this, right? They are going to, and I have kids, I get it. Like, Mom, we want Disney Plus. I'm like, I'm not paying for Disney Plus. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not.
No.
And they think I'm crazy, and I have to protect them because their little minds don't realize. But when you keep getting something displayed over and over and over again, you become numb to it. And that's what they do with these little children. That's what they do in these movies. That's what they do. They pull them in, and their symbolism is everywhere. But you have to know what to look out for, right? I mean, even the symbolism, like the butterfly is little girl pedo, and it's on wrappers of ice cream bars. I mean, you just start going, it's crazy. And so awareness is key. And if you're aware and you can point it out, because it is literally everywhere, then you can start to decipher what you want to allow in your home, what you want to allow your children to watch. And, and it's, but it is, I mean, it's there is not a single Disney movie that does not portray some form of pedophilia. And that is their religion, right? The Luciferians, the Church of Satan, to reach the power that they want, they have to sacrifice the innocent. And that's been going on since the beginning of time, and the gods of sacrifice and to Baal, and they're murdering babies and burning babies at the stake and eating babies. I mean, that's all very symbolic, and it's not just something that's been going on since the 1960s. It's been going on since Satan was cast out of heaven with 33% of the angels. So it's everywhere, though. So as a parent, you have to be aware, and you have to call it out, and protect what you can. If I see something suspicious, there are still good people out there, right? It's not everyone. And you talk about this. We've talked about this many times on our show and on lives. We have more in common with someone that thinks the opposite politically walking down the street than we ever will have with a politician. They are of another breed. They are evil. And if they aren't evil, then they aren't in office. So you have to do something to get to where they are at, and that's how they hold you accountable. And if you choose to speak up, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah.
These guys do not care about death. They feed off of it. They feed off of it. Like you and me, death is, I mean, it is heinous and horrific. These guys feed off of it. They love it. So murdering someone who's going to expose the truth is nothing to them. Nothing.
No. And like you said, Sarah, this has been going on for so long. Like we talked about off camera, let's look at the movie Pinocchio, right? Pleasure Island. Little boys going to the island, the evil old man luring the little boys to Pleasure Island, giving them whatever they want. It's literally, everything, what people have to, what we need to understand, everything is energy, right? When it comes to art, music, movies, music, for example, there's frequencies in music. There's 532 megahertz, it's 532, 432. Like there's healing modalities to music, but mostly all the music that's played on the radio, that gets radio play, is of a frequency that's not of the healing frequency. And I'm off the top of my head, I can't think of the numbers, but there's, again, research that for yourself. That is a fact. That's a fact. Like, and symbolism, right? Everything is energy. There was a study done, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, a Japanese scientist, Dr. Emoto in Japan. And he did a study where he took 2 bottles of water. And on one bottle of water, he put all words of hate taped to the bottle. On another bottle, he put words, love, compassion, peace, harmony, whatever. He then took both those bottles of water, put them under a microscope, and the molecular structure of the water that had all the words of hate, whatever, bad words, the molecules of the water looked all distorted. And then the molecules of the water that had words love, peace, whatever, they actually formed like beautiful looking crystals and prisms and things of that nature. Our human body's made up of about, what is it, Sarah? Is it 65, 70% water, would you say? Something like that?
Yeah.
So everything is energy, right? The symbolisms, the signs, if your kids keep seeing it, so it's a subliminal way of accepting things. And again, to your point, numbing things to where, and there was talk from a couple of Democratic politicians not too long ago about, pedophilia being like called of like, attracted to little persons, like disease or something, like normalizing it, not calling it for what it is, like trying to understand somebody who's actually attracted to a child and not calling it pedophilia anymore. Right. So there's all these layers of normalizing this stuff. And it's just, thanks, Tim. I just got your text. The 432 versus 440. 432 is the healing. Exactly. So that's the frequency of the music. Like Mozart, Beethoven is all like 432. But that all started happening as radio, Billboard, all that started coming more. They got to get you in every which way, shape, or form to numb you, dumb you down, make you docile, obedient. Why do you think kids are graded in the public school system for being obedient and following orders? I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's in everything. And I just want to pull up. We talk about how this has been around for a while. Tim, do you have that slide I just sent you on that album cover? I mean, again, this just goes to show how it's just in your face. But there you go. Something as wholesome as like what the Beatles were to America and to the world. Look at that album cover. Like, what do you think they're telling you right there? What do you think that they're telling you? And
that's literally what they do. They do that. They murder, dismember, bloodlet, after severe torture, babies, newborns,
Like what?
adolescents.
I mean,
Yeah.
knowing what we know now, when you look at that, if you've looked at that before and looking at it now, again, this is like that whole like awakening, right? Like once the veil's been lifted, like how do you interpret? Don't give me that, oh, it's just art. Like, no,
No.
every single thing is placed in a certain area for a purpose when it comes to
Mhm.
art, especially at levels where, of that level, in movies,
Like,
television,
who
all of that.
finds that normal?
I
Who
mean,
who thinks that that picture looks okay?
you know,
It's
I mean, I don't
crazy.
know what year this was or like where they were at in their career when this came out. Yesterday, like those are the names of the songs. So I don't know like what album this was on them, how but I mean, John Lennon, right? I mean, look at what happened to him. I mean, I think, all these people at a certain level, they got to sell. And then once they start realizing and awakening, well, you know how John Lennon's story ended, you know?
Mhm.
Um, thanks for that, Tim. So yeah, it's like you start seeing these things and you're like, oh, and
Mhm.
my hope for this is like what I said before, like we got to stop putting these people on pedestals. But also now that we know it's literally all of them, like
Mhm.
all of them, like none of them should be given a pass. Of course, there may be some good ones seeping through the cracks here and there. And you'll see those that they're the ones that are going to get bastardized and like, cut out of this, out of the elite form of politics and all that. They're far and few in between, but, um, like I said in this video I did yesterday on it, midterms are coming up. Stop, please. I mean, do what you want, but
Stop voting.
don't waste your time thinking that don't waste your time thinking that the people that govern you and want to control you are going to give you a voice in how they're going to control you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't do it. Like, by you doing that, you're just telling them that, like, yes, I still have faith in you. I still believe it. It's like an abused child, right? Like just sitting in a
Yeah.
corner, like, yes, mommy, yes, daddy, whatever you need. Like, that's what you look like to these people if you continue to do that. Like you have no voice within their matrix. Your voice is trying to break free of the matrix and speaking over the matrix, not in it. Hence the Overstood Human Podcast. Like we need
Mhm.
to overstand our position with all of this. But if we keep working within and under their dark cloud, you ain't
Mhm.
never getting out of it. And there's no
Mm-mm.
path to freedom like when you do
Mm-mm.
that. Um, so and this is, it's like it's almost like a Rubik's cube, if you will. Like in order to put all of this together, this all comes together, right? Your spirituality, how am I treating my body temple? What am I feeding it? Am I getting sunlight, exercise, positive,
Mhm.
like listening to worship music, like being around good people, trying to laugh, like again, everything's energy. So how do we,
Yeah.
you must put the energy in to raise the vibration, keep raising it,
Mhm.
raising it, raising it, raising it. Because like we've said here many times, everything that's easily and readily available to us and affordable, it's all by design to break you down. All of it,
Mhm.
all of
Yeah.
it. You name,
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, we go down the list of something that's affordable, easy to get, and that's everywhere. That's good for you. Is there anything?
Mm-mm.
Not that I can
No,
think
the
of.
only thing that's affordable, that's easy to get, that's good for you is what God has placed on this earth.
Mhm.
Connect back to his presence. Get back into that. I'm gonna throw something out there too, because this dawned on me, but
Mm,
everyone knows Nickelodeon. Do you know what the Nickelodeon
mm.
sign is?
Yep,
That's Epstein's Island.
yep.
So Nickelodeon sign is what his island looks like. So I'm
Look it
telling
up,
you,
guys.
when it's out there, it's out there. And so being aware, um, knowing what these things mean. Can we do something? Well, you got to start in your home. You got to start with your children, because they want your children. They're coming for the children. Um,
Mhm.
that is how they corrupt. They want the most innocent. Um, you got you. I'm mom. I'm a mama bear. I
Mhm.
will I will die for my children. I will stop at nothing to save a child's life.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to even be my own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to unite this country. I saw someone post something. They said, I can't believe America is not up in arms and that there's no protest going on. It's not just America, you guys.
Yeah.
This is everywhere.
Hmm.
And they're actually right. Like, what in the heck? But the judges are all in on it. Anyone that could do anything to these people are part of their system.
Hmm.
They are Luciferians. They are all part of the same sick system.
Yeah.
So accountability will not happen on this earth. But we also, we know the government, they strategically release things. I mean, this didn't come out coincidentally. So
No.
be vigilant in the timing of what's going on. Be vigilant in the things that play out from now until the next pandemic. Be vigilant in what they are going to try to make you do in the name of safety, in the name of protecting your children. Be vigilant because they are going to bring in the mark. And everything's leading up to that, the digital currency. You know, we're going to be mandated this vaccine. There's going to be false flags all over the place. And so as heinous as what they're doing is, the timing of why they're releasing this now is going to, there's a bigger plan behind it. And ultimately God is in control, and these people in ranks that are quote voted in are put into place for God's prophecy. So I'm not saying they're good people. They're there serving a purpose that is much bigger than they even know. And prophecy will come true, but they will face their maker. We will all bend the knee. And they may be getting away with it here on this earth, but it will not for eternity. They will not.
Mm-mm. No way. Yep. And you bring up the Nickelodeon logo, and I also encourage people to, after you're listening to this or pause this, look up the Walt Disney logo. Take a close look at the W over the letter I and then the Y, and really take a close look at that and try to see what you see in those 3 points that I just mentioned. So it's, it is all there, and it is a much, it's a big sinister plan, right? It's the whole thing. And it is true, and it is sad that I feel like this whole week, even on social media, more people were irate about Bad Bunny versus the Turning Point halftime show than they were this.
Yeah.
Literally bickering over that. And it's like, to your point, like, they didn't release these by accident at a time when that was happening. Again, like, guys, go back to listen to last week's episode on the whole Super Bowl breakdown, how we broke that down. Not by, nothing happens by accident at that level. Like, you can't accept that this is well organized, well thought out, and plotted and planned years and years in advance. Like, this is a machine. This isn't just happening organically in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't work like that. And I mean, if 2 + 2 is 4, and when you see things so clear, it's very clear that you again, you must accept this. Like I said I think I said it on, when did I say it to you? But it's like when you find out Santa Claus isn't real as a kid. Like, you must accept these realities and learn how to pivot from them and not stay stuck in them. And this, again, we talk about this all the time. Symbolism will be their downfall, right? They release these files, and one things I'm seeing from people, and this is really disheartening, because so many people who are MAGA based they refuse to, like, they won't budge. Like, there's just so many of them that won't budge, you know? And I've been seeing that a lot. Well, how many other presidents had access to these? And he released over 3 million of them, right? But it's like, who's sitting in prison for these crimes besides Maxwell? Is there anyone else? Like, is there anyone else possibly going to prison?
No.
Like, is there anything other than just, chaos from all this?
No.
And then
Epstein's still alive. He's not.
yeah, come on.
I want you to do something real quick, Frank, while we're on this. I want you to look up MAGA symbolism in the Church of Satan.
Okay. So images.
No, just what's the meaning? Like, what is the meaning of?
Well, I'm doing this is on Google.
Okay.
Church of Satan, MAGA, a title and 5-level hierarchy, registered member, active member, witch, warlock, priest, priestess, magister, magistry, magnus, and MAGA. Symbolism, the Church of Satan uses symbols like siglet or Baphomet. Political MAGA, the political slogan, Make America Great Again, is unrelated to the religious philosophical views of the Church of Satan. That's Google.
So MAGA means like the highest degree in the Church of Satan. So here we've got this president, everything is MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. And underneath MAGA in the Church of Satan, the people lower than that are called apprentices. So what was President Trump's show? The Apprentice.
Boom.
I'm telling you, symbolism is everywhere. So everyone going, oh, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. You understand that you are calling out the highest ranking in the Church of Satan. Like, what? So, and oh no, it's unrelated. You could say the Red Shoe Club is unrelated. You could say adrenochrome is unrelated to the symbolism in Pixar movies. You could say, the cover of the Beatles unrelated. You could call that out forever, and until you go, everything is actually related, and they're telling you a story, and you finally just go, oh my gosh. But it's all related. It's all related.
Let's pause on there because I know Tim has the slides. Tim, I think we sent you 3 slides, separate slides of the red shoe. Can you pull up the one of like all the men with the red shoes and then yep. So there's, Ronald McDonald, right?
Yep. Podesta, you got the Clintons. Like, these are all very wealthy people in power.
The Pope.
The Pope. Yes.
Okay. Deepak Chopra, who's all over the Epstein emails. That's his signature move. Red shoes all the time. Yeah. Look it up. Look it up. And then there's the infamous one.
Find out what it's made out of. Yeah.
Yep. Where's the former president? There it is. Yes. There he is. And that, folks, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. This was actually hung up in the walkway of the townhome, a $60 million townhome that was gifted to Epstein from Les Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secrets. And that's in his walkway of his home, of that particular townhome of William Jefferson Clinton, right? Isn't that his middle name?
Wearing the blue dress symbolizing Lewinsky and baby skin high heels.
Yep.
That's what he's got.
So again, coincidence, right? Coincidence. There's tons of coincidence. Here's another amazing coincidence that I think is amazing. Do you remember back in 2015, the whole Pizzagate conspiracy?
Oh gosh.
Right? So for people who are not aware of that, Pizzagate came about. There was a pizzeria in Washington called Comet Pizza, and someone uncovered that their logo had the pedo sign within their logo, and they immediately did damage control, changed the logo. People investigated in more depth. There was ties to Podesta, who was managing, with Hillary Clinton and all them. There was Pizzagate. There's the infamous email right around was it 2009? I think it was, or 2010. A leaked email of Obama with a staffer where he ordered $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza for a Super Bowl party at the White House. And we all know what happens on the Super Bowl when it comes to children. Look that up. So there's that. That was debunked. That was a conspiracy. That was
Well,
put
yeah.
to bed. Now we hear in the Epstein files, this latest drop, a lot of the headlines will say it, and interesting numbers. One article I read, over 911, over 911 times was the word pizza mentioned in his emails. Coincidence? I don't know. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
It's, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No, well, it's sick, and you start seeing these words used over and over again. I think jerky, beef jerky was used quite a bit. Pizzagate, and then the owner of this Comet Pizza, if you start going down his bloodline, he's related to, I can't remember if it's the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, but like you start going down, like you don't open up a pizza shop and become a multi-millionaire with a pizza shop. You go down and they had pictures hung up with little kids in bathing suits, basically being hung with red shoes on. That picture is all over the internet. You start looking at who these people are. Man, it's so sick. And, we just have to pray, and we have to pray for enlightenment. We have to pray for understanding. We have to pray for these people to actually turn against what they're doing, stop these wicked ways. And Jesus came down. He left his throne in heaven. He did not need to do that. He came down to this horrific, sinful world in a time of chaos and turmoil, and he died for our sins. And there's no one who can't be forgiven. What he went through, if anyone says, I've done too much, I can't be forgiven. Oh no, you're mocking what he did then. He didn't say, I'm dying for most people's sins, but not everybody. He died for everybody's sins. So he's coming back. Yep. And the battle of good and evil has been going on forever. And here's a prime example of that. People who are peddling in things that are not spiritually aligned with Jesus, turn from your ways, repent, walk a path of enlightenment, and focus on the things that you can do. I mean, it's just, no one's so far gone that they can't go back. And I just, I pray for, and we've talked about this, like, what are we leaving behind? When we go, what kind of world are we leaving for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren? I will not leave a world. I'll do everything I can to not leave a world that enslaves them. We are already slaves. I mean, if we don't think we're already slaves in the system, we are, well, they've got you. We're all slaves in the system, but man, what they want to do, the control, the digital currency, the social credit score, it's coming.
Smart cities.
I know I won't score very high on that. And I'm okay with that. But like, what are we leaving behind for the next generation? Like, we're supposed to leave it better than what we came. And the only way to do that is to turn to Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the light. And he is the only way to get past this much darkness.
Yeah. And on that note, it's like we must remind ourselves that every single thing of this physical world is temporary to us. We're temporary, right? And I truly, wholeheartedly, because I've had an experience before in my life of being near death. Like I don't fear death itself. I truly don't. I'm not scared of it. What I lose sleep over is leaving this world to my child the way it is. That scare that gives me sleepless nights at times when I think of that. So my message to everyone out there, whether you're a parent or not, But if you're a parent, you can truly understand what I'm saying when I say this, because anyone who's a parent, I know, like when I look into my child's eyes, or I hold him and like I spend time with him, no matter, I have moments where I remind myself, like, God, if I love this kid so much and it's so overpowering and so overwhelming to me, just think of how much God loves me. And that's, you think of the word father, God the Father, and the role that I play in his life, and the role that God is in my life and in our life. So it's like, whether you're a parent or not, you must embody that. The way I look at it, all children, I'm a parent to all children walking this. A defenseless, harmless child is my child, in a sense.
Hmm.
Like I have an oath and a pact with myself and with the higher power, that if there's an injustice being done to a child and I see it, I'm saying something, and I will
Oh yeah.
physically do something, even if it costs me my life, because every
Hmm.
child is our child as an adult.
Hmm.
Period. Period. So there's, as I said earlier, there's no luxury to look the other way when it comes to this type of stuff. There's no luxury just to like go about your business and just go make your money and go on vacations and forget about it, because it doesn't impact you. That's what people say. It does impact you. It impacts all of us. And as I said earlier, I think there's a collective here of why this story and these leaks, why people are just buzzing about it and buzzing about it, because any righteous human being knows. I mean, look, you hear about this time and time. In prison, pedophiles, they don't do well in prison at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you'll have mass murderers like that are in there for doing life, and they don't tolerate pedophilia when it comes to
Hmm.
children. It's like those types of people get tortured in prison, to my knowledge.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's like a known fact. So if criminals who are doing life in prison for taking the life of maybe other adults, being serial killers and murderers, but when they come across a pedophile, they have zero tolerance, why are you turning the cheek?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it from that vantage point. Like, we do not have the luxury to ignore this. So I want to go back to like the solution in all this is, first and foremost, like, we we need to be prepared for war. And what I mean when I say war, I don't necessarily mean physical war. I mean spiritual war, war with all of this that's going on. And we must be rooted in our faith first and foremost, but then our physical body, we must be as strong as at whatever age we are at, we must be the strongest and fittest that we can possibly be at the age that we're presently at. We must be
Hmm.
as clear as possible as we can possibly be for where we're presently at. We must be, if it hit the fan and you had to physically like run out of your house and pick up and get your belongings and like maneuver, like, you've got to be like fit on all levels, on all levels. That's why, like, I always try to tell people, like, my whole like fit over pharma, like coaching people, it's got nothing to do with you looking in the mirror and trying to look for six-pack abs, whether you're a man or a woman. Like, it's about health from the inside out, but being prepared for everything that we discuss on this show. Like,
Hmm.
don't wait for a symptom to show up to treat it. Get proactive to avoid it by any means necessary. Like,
Yeah.
that's what this is about. So we must be prepared on every level that you can possibly think of, because like Sarah, like you keep saying, and I co-sign on that, like, there's more to come. And this is
Hmm.
not, we're not alarmists, we're alertists. And for
Right.
those of you that haven't swam with with the knowledge of like being like swam with the information of like these sharks and serpents, like, Sarah and I have done our due diligence with this stuff to spark your brain cells enough for you to go do the research. But also, like, if we have to drive the bus in the sense for you just to get on and like take you there spiritually and with your mind, your body, and soul, and we're a resource that you trust, then I mean, I could speak for both. Like, I'm glad to take that role, but like, we must go there together. We must start seeing this for what it is. Like I said earlier, we must stop thinking that every couple of years you have a voice within their matrix. Like, we must create our own voice. We must create our own communities. We must create solutions by the solutions. Even with this, keep talking about this. When people tell you to shut up and stop talking about it, talk about it even more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, stuff like
do
this.
the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuff like this does not get pushed to the side.
Yeah. No, and it needs to not be, because it'll just keep happening. And awareness is key.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, and you're right, be prepared. And it's not, yes, it's in all aspects, but mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, you have to be ready for battle. You really do. And if you're not, you're going to be caught off guard. And what are you willing to die for? You have to know that too. You have to know your why and what you're willing to die for. And I don't fear death either. It's not something that it is a promise to everybody. The time in which that happens, only God knows. But to tolerate and put your head in the sand when you see so much evil is then you are in agreement with what you see, right? So, and that's how they go. They will show you, they will use symbols, they will display. And if you don't stop that, if you don't put your foot down, if you don't try to prevent that from happening, then in their sick minds, you are complacent and you are in agreement with what they're doing. And that's why there's so much symbolism, is because that's part of their ritual. It's part of their religion. It's part of their purpose. They show you, and they do it, and it's in plain sight. So yeah, so we just have to, pray. We have to pray. We have to pray. We have to pray. Yeah.
And it's, I think we can close it off, close this episode off with just being aware of what Christ did, going to the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and how the serpent kept tempting him. Right?
Yep.
This world is going to keep tempting you to distract you, to get you to overindulge, to numb the reality of what is in front of you, to, entertain you, break down your health, break down your immune system, whatever. The serpent's it's gonna continue to keep presenting itself. And as we know, he is the master of deception. So everything that you're finding comfort in, that the system provides for you, rethink it. Yeah. Find comfort in his word and in his power and his presence, because the system is not giving you that. It's not perpetuating his it's not pushing his message, his spirit. You have to find that from within, and make it a point to be committed to connecting to that, to plug. It's like an outlet, plugging into that. That's the commitment that we all must make with that. Like I said, be prepared for war. Like, that's what I mean by that. Like being plugged in. Don't let the serpent keep tempting you, because that's a guarantee. Just like death is guaranteed, the serpent's temptations will always be guaranteed. There's no way around it. None.
Yeah.
And the clearer your vessel is, the better you're going to be at spotting it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I always say, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that's, yeah.
Yeah. I think, we touched on that on this last episode, right? Of the black sheep. Like, choose your level of uncomfortable. You're gonna be uncomfortable going along. If you walk with the sheep to the slaughterhouse, you're gonna be uncomfortable. If you walk the opposite way, you'll be uncomfortable too. So choose your uncomfortable. You
Mm-hmm.
know, no one gets out of here without being uncomfortable, because if you fall into his temptations, you will start becoming sick, weakened, lethargic, and that gets uncomfortable too. So
Yeah,
the choice
absolutely.
is yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Choice is yours.
Always great. Like,
Yep.
these are always amazing. Thank you so much for your insight.
Likewise.
We have to stand strong. We
Likewise, Sarah.
absolutely
It's always
do.
a pleasure. Always a
Yeah.
pleasure. And for everybody listening, we thank you. As we always say, please pass this around. Message us with any topics, things you'd like to share. Maybe we can even have you on to have dialogue if there's something that we
Mhm.
feel is aligned with our mission. And again, every Wednesday night, there's a new episode on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Spotify. And please check in on Sarah's social media, mine. We've been doing more lives where we're interacting with you guys. Seems like the normal routine now is Wednesday nights on Facebook is what we're doing.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll try. We did try. How many Sundays did we do, Sarah? One or two? Maybe we'll try that again just to see if that works at
Yeah,
some point.
I think we've done at least one.
Yeah.
Wednesday seems to be a pretty
Yeah.
big hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, so we're typically doing Wednesday nights on Facebook at around, what time is that? Like 9:30-ish Eastern,
Yep,
6:30-ish
exactly.
Pacific. Yep.
Yep.
So somewhere in that time, I say ish because normally sometimes we get started a little. There seems to be always some sort of a technical difficulty, so it's hard
Yeah.
for us to be prompt at 6:30 Pacific.
Mhm.
So
Right.
bear with us.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
Yep. So anyway, again, I hope that this helps to connect dots for people. I hope that you walk away from this feeling empowered and not scared in any way, shape, or form. But there is hope, and the power is within all of us. We just have to make that choice. So,
Absolutely.
Sarah, always a pleasure, and
Yes. Thank you.
thank you. You guys take care.
God bless.
Thank you for watching the Overstood Human Podcast. Be sure to join in next week. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Always consult with your physician before starting any exercise program or doing anything contained in this podcast.